Alright everybody, give me a second. Sound check, sound check. Give me a second. Alright, we are live. Good morning. Yeah, I'm sorry I'm late. Today it's going to have just 30 minutes. Okay everybody. Yeah, I'm sorry I'm late. Okay, so we're going to just go to the lesson without the initial talk, alright everybody. Okay, so the contrarian Fibonacci and the rules, right? The original Fibonacci, everybody, the original Fibonacci. Number one, we use the original Fibonacci to determine trend direction, alright? So, we use the original Fibonacci, everybody. Good morning, Ricky. We're using the original Fibonacci to determine trend direction, right? Okay, everybody? And then we compare the trend direction from the larger time frame to the lower time frame. Number three, the last thing we need to identify in what zone are the Fibonacci's on the larger time frame and the smaller time frame. Okay, everybody? So we are comparing the three Fibonacci's. And now how to use the three Fibonacci's, right? Now the second one is what is called the contrarian Fibonacci, everybody. So we use the contrarian Fibonacci, number one, to trade retracements, which is risky, and 1.2 to find the C of the original Fibonacci. Hello Alex, how are you? Bom dia Romildo, tudo bom? Ok, a gente usa Fibonacci de contra para negociar retrações e para achar o ponto C do Fibonacci original, everybody, ok? Now, what does this mean? O que significa isso? Alright, so if the original Fibonacci is showing us trend direction, ok? Just an example, só um exemplo, né? O Fibonacci original está mostrando para nós direção, né? Give me a second, everybody. Example, something like this, right? Give me a second, so down to here, example, down to here. Okay? And as always, the original Fibonacci is going to have the A, is going to have the B, alright? Give me a second, not this one, and edit label, there you go. So it's going to be the B, alright, and then we are going to have the C. Okay, give me a second. And then we are going to have the D somewhere. Now, give me a second. A, B, C, D, right? Okay. That's the C, that's the D somewhere up in here. Green goes to green. Ok, o verde vai pro verde. Now, what is the contrarian Fibonacci, everybody? The contrarian Fibonacci is the Fibonacci that goes in the opposite direction. Okay, that goes in the opposite direction. I'm not sure why this is opening in here. Give me a second, everybody. There you go. Sub A. And I'm naming it, you can name it 1, 2, 3, 4, but I'm naming it sub A, sub B, sub C, sub D. Ok? E vou nomear o Fibonacci di contra sub A, sub B, sub C, sub D. Ok? And we're going to also change colors. Também a gente vai mudar as cores. Ok? Now the contrarian Fibonacci is going to use the same rules, same principles. Ok? And it's a Fibonacci that goes in the other direction compared to the original Fibonacci, okay? Fibonacci di contra, give me a second everybody, double click here, okay? Give me a second. Okay, so I'm going to change colors. This is going to be white, this is going to be white, example. And this is going to be violet and violet and violet, and this is going to be violet. You know, 1, 2, 3. Okay, and now I'm going to save this one. Vou salvar como contra Fibonacci di contra. Okay, everybody. So the contrarian Fibonacci goes in the opposite direction. If the original Fibonacci goes up, se o Fibonacci original está subindo, then the contrarian Fibonacci is going to go down. Aí o Fibonacci de contra vai descendo. Ok? So the same principles apply. Ok? Os mesmos princípios vão ser usados. So just graphically, now this is going to be the sub A. This is going to be the sub B. This is going to be the sub C. And, you know, this is then going to be the sub D. Agreed? Então, esse vai ser o ponto sub A. Esse vai ser o ponto sub B. Esse vai ser o ponto sub C. Esse vai ser o ponto sub D. No Fibonacci de contra. This is on the contrarian Fibonacci. Right, everybody? Boss, this is too difficult. It's going to take some time. Isso é difícil demais. Vai demorar um tempo. Ok? Now, the same rules apply in charting the contrarian. As mesmas coisas se vão usar para desenhar a Fibonacci de contra. Ok, everybody? So what is the sub C if you are using the same rules when you chart the contrarian Fibonacci? What is the sub C? The sub C is the highest point inside the sub A sub B boundary before the market hits the exactly appropriate sub D extension. Mesma coisa que vai para o Fibonacci original, vai para o Fibonacci de contra. O que é o sub C? Sub C é o ponto mais alto entre sub A e sub B antes de mercado atingir o sub D. So everybody, you're using the same rules apply. Make sense, everybody? So you can use, as per the picture, you can use the contrarian Fibonacci to trade retracement. Você pode usar Fibonacci de contra para negociar retrações. Okay, everybody? So type in the chat a currency pair, and we're going to check how would you trade retracement, maybe on the weekly, maybe on the daily. First comes first is served. Coloca par de moeda. We're going to do an exercise. How would you trade a retracement? And remember that trading the contrarian Fibonacci, this is risky because you are going against the trend. Lembre-se que negociar o Fibonacci de contra é mais arriscado porque você vai negociando contra as tendências. Alright, everybody? Day traders use, not everybody, but the one who are using the Fibonacci, they are using the Fibonacci to trade retracement. So os day traders usam Fibonacci para negociar retrações. Type in the chat a currency pair, everybody, so we can check how would you trade the contrarian Fibonacci. Sub A, sub B, sub C, sub D. Okay. Yeah, I'm late today, everybody, I'm sorry. Also today we're going to finish in about 20 minutes. I need to go, but we're going to then continue tomorrow. A gente vai terminar em 20 minutos, depois a gente vai ver continuando amanhã. Okay, everybody? Now, before we go to trading the sub C and the sub D, from the picture, we use the contrarian Fibonacci to find the capital C of the original Fibonacci. And now we're using this to find what is called the confirmed C. Okay, everybody? Now pay attention. Okay, so this is the, everybody, I'm going to put it here and here and here and here, right? Okay, now work with me, everybody, right? This is the price action on the original Fibonacci, and the market does this, right? You have a high and you have a low. Can you chart the contrarian Fibonacci? Type in the chat, yes, I can chart the contrarian Fibonacci, or no, I cannot chart the contrarian Fibonacci. And then we're going to check Canada JPY. Can I chart the contrarian Fibonacci, everybody? Can I put a contrarian Fibonacci on a high and a low? Posso colocar a Fibonacci di contra nessa alta, nessa baixa? Yes or no? the same rules apply, right? If the original Fibonacci is up, the contrario Fibonacci is going to be down. Se Fibonacci original está de alta, o Fibonacci de contra vai ser de baixa. Alex says no. Well, the answer is yes, everybody. In an up Fibonacci sequence, the A is the first low, the absolute low, the starting point of something. You know, in a down Fibonacci, you know, talking about the contrarian, the sub A, everybody, is the first high, the absolute high, the highest high, the starting point of a sequence. This high is the sub A, okay, everybody? And this is now the sub B. This is the first low. As soon as possible, after the sub A, essa primeira baixa, logo depois do sub A. So yes, we can chart. A gente pode colocar o Fibonacci, okay, everybody? So this is now the price action. And don't worry, we are going to spend months on the Fibonacci, right? Now the price action does something like this, everybody. Okay, which one is the sub C? Qual vai ser o ponto sub C? Is the first circle the sub C, or is the second circle the sub C? Which one is the sub C? Boss, this is too confusing. It's going to take some, and it's not that difficult, believe me, once we go on charts. But the price can still fall. It doesn't change anything. You must obey the rules, everybody. Make sense? You need to obey the rules on the Fibonacci's. Okay, which one is the sub C, everybody? Is the first high the sub C, or is the second high the sub C? Qual vai ser o sub C? The second, exactly. The same, exact. See, everybody, not that difficult, right? The same rules apply. Now I need to verify, did the market hit the blue? No, it did not, so the market didn't hit the blue. Which one is the, you know, this is the sub C, and then of course then the market, you know, which one is the sub D, everybody? Which one is the sub D? Is the first circle the sub D, or is the second circle the sub? Qual vai ser o ponto sub D? O primeiro círculo ou o segundo? That's the good news. You are going to use the same rules in charting the contrarian Fibonacci, and then you are going to use the same rules in charting the confirmation Fibonacci. Você vai usar as mesmas regras para desenhar Fibonacci de contra e as mesmas regras para desenhar o Fibonacci da confirmação. Which one is the sub D, everybody? Is the first circle the sub D, or is the second circle the sub D? Second, exactly. So as the market progresses, you also now need to move the C. Conforme o mercado descendo aqui, você tem que também mexer com ponto C. Okay, everybody? So now this is the C. What you're going to do, you are going to readjust the contrarian Fibonacci. Sub A goes to sub C, sub A vai para o sub C, and sub B vai para o sub D. Sub B goes to sub D. Alright, everybody? And give me a second. So if the price action falls, now this is the sub C, this is the sub D, and you need to move the, now this is the C, right? Everybody? Isso depois é o ponto C. Ok? Boss, does the sub D always equalize the sub C? The answer is no. The sub D doesn't always equalize the C. Okay, everybody? Now pay attention here before you go on charts. So again, the market made a retracement like this. Okay. And again, we are going to move. The sub A goes to sub C, right? The sub A goes to sub C. O sub A vai para o sub C. sub A, and the sub B goes to sub D. Right now this is the last, everybody, this is the last contrarian Fibonacci. Essa è l'ultima Fibonacci di contra. Ok. Now if you would short the contrarian Fibonacci, is this a high probability trade NY or is this a low probability trade NY? Se você vender essa retração, isso vai ser um trade de probabilidade baixa ou grande? Probabilidade grande. Everybody, you shorted the market up in here, the contrarian Fibonacci, and you won. You shorted the market up in here, the second contrarian Fibonacci, and you won. Now you are shorting the third time the contrarian Fibonacci. Is this a high probability trade or is this a low probability trade? Se vendeu Fibonacci de contra aqui em cima, você ganhou a primeira vez. Se vendeu Fibonacci de contra, so you're shorting the first time the contrarian Fibonacci, you won. Se vendeu segunda vez Fibonacci di contra, se ganhou uma graninha. You shorted the second time the contrarian Fibonacci, you made some money. Now you want to short for the third time the contrarian Fibonacci. Is this a high probability trade or low probability? Esse é um trade de probabilidade alta ou baixa? What do you think? O que você acha? Low, why is that? Por quê? Alex, you're right. It's a low probability trade. Why is that, everybody? It's a low probability trade. Exactly. Why is that? Anybody else? Low. Yes, Olga. Why is that? Baixa, a probabilidade já está perto do profundo. Heraldo is saying that it's low probability because we are almost at the A. Alex and Olga, why it's a low probability trade? Por que a probabilidade baixa? If violet goes to violet, seu rosa vai pro rosa. Everybody, if violet goes to violet, for the market to hit the sub D, it must break the capital A, yes or no? Se o roxo vai pro roxo e o mercado atingiu o sub D, ele tem que quebrar o A do Fibonacci original, sim ou não? Market can reverse, not good enough. Structure up, no, not good enough. Further down we go with the retracement, the bigger the chance the market can say better than Alex, but still, everybody, the only appropriate, I mean the not appropriate, but the explanation, you know, why is this a low probability trade? Because for the market to hit the sub D, it must break the capital A of the original Fibonacci. That's the answer. Única resposta correta é porque isso é probabilidade baixa, porque se o mercado vai atingir o ponto sub D, ele tem que quebrar o Fibonacci original. And between the original Fibonacci and the contrarian Fibonacci, who is stronger? Who is stronger, everybody? Okay? Statistically speaking, on the daily chart, the original Fibonacci is going to win 9 times out of 10 compared to the contrarian. Ok? Estatisticamente falando, o Fibonacci original vai ganhar 9 vezes das 10, comparado com o Fibonacci de contra. Ok, everybody? Original, exactly, ok? This setup, everybody, when the sub D, it gets below the A, this is when we say that you found the confirmed C. Ok? Quando o mercado vai mostrar que o sub D está embaixo do A, isso a gente acha que você achou o ponto C confirmado. Boss, can you repeat, please? Yes. When the market is going to go into a deep retracement and is going to find the sub D, it's below the capital A, meaning the market to hit the sub D must break the A. This is when you found what it's called the confirmed C. Ese punto C está confirmado. Okay, everybody? Now, what does this mean, the confirmed C? The confirmed C means that once the market finds the confirmed C, there is an 80% chance that the market is going to go back up and never turn back down again. Make sense? The confirmed C doesn't increase the probability of the Fibonacci trade. The confirmed C just means that the market, if you buy the original one in here, it's not going to turn back. 80% of the chance the confirmed C just go up and up and up, okay? Otherwise, when the market is not confirmed, quando o mercado não está confirmado, the market can do this and this and this and that, you know? Make sense, everybody? The confirmed C, if you buy original Fibonacci's with the confirmed C, this means that the market is going to go up and is not going to turn back again. Quando você vai comprando o ponto C confirmado do Fibonacci original, significa que o mercado não vai começar a subir e não vai mais voltar para trás. Okay, everybody? Don't worry, we're going to spend 2 weeks on the contrarian. I mean, you know, we're entering in December slowly. So in December we're going to cover the Fibonacci, the original one, the contrarian, and then the confirmation. Okay. Boss, do I need to trade retracements? Answer, no. Preciso negociar retrações? No, não precisa, not necessary. Não, você não está obrigado a negociar retrações. But from the picture, we use the contrarian Fibonacci to find the capital C of the original Fibonacci. A gente vai usar o Fibonacci de contra para chegar no ponto C do original. Okay, everybody? One more time, the confirms, don't mix apples with bananas, non mistura abacaxi com banana. The confirmed C doesn't mean that it's going to increase the probability of the trade. O ponto C confirmado não vai aumentar a probabilidade do trade. Ele só aumenta a probabilidade que o mercado não vai mais para trás. This just means that the market is not going to go back again and, you know, go back up and down, up and down, up and down, alright? Risk, that's on you. Risco é com vocês. Okay, everybody? So, Alex was asking for Canada JPY, everybody. Let me a second, I'm going to open Canada JPY. Let's see if we can find some contrarian Fibonacci's. Give me a second. Maybe on the weekly, maybe on the daily, we're going to see. Canada JPY, maybe not the best pair, right? Talvez não seja o par melhor. Canada JPY. Give me a second. Give me a second, everybody. Canada JPY, up Fibonacci. Alright, everybody, so those are the Fibonacci's on Canada JPY, right? This Canada JPY weekly chart. Okay, so if we are here, right? Let's take this one, the second one. Okay. Those colors are the original one, everybody. So where should you start? Where should you start the contrarian? Should you start the contrarian at this high? Should you start the contrarian at the second circle? Or should you start the contrarian Fibonacci at the third circle? Onde seria começar o Fibonacci di contra? In the meantime, I need to put the, give me a second, so I need to sub A, and, or you can do like this, you know, it's, give me a second, everybody, clone, can I clone, and edit label, sub B, right, sub B, and clone, edit label sub C, sub C and clone. One more time. Clone and everybody sub D, right? Whoops, sub A, sub B, sub C, sub D. Okay. Boss, I don't know. The same rules apply, everybody. Where is the starting point of a down sequence? The first circle, the second circle, the third circle? Onde começa a sequência de baixa? Even if you chart the contrarian Fibonacci in the wrong way, as per charting, the market is going to show you when is the right way. But if you would trade it, you would lose. Okay? Let's say, everybody, Olga says the third one, exactly. The third one, right? So this is the, I'm going to zoom in. This is our sub A. This is our sub A, everybody. Okay, what is the sub B? Sub B in a down Fibonacci, sub B is the first low as soon as possible after the sub A. Alright. Now sub B to sub A and changing colors. I need to change colors, so I'm going to do it white as a back again, white and white. Give me a second, and this is going to be third and the third and the third and the third, and this is going to be the third. Okay, right. So, and here I'm going to save as the contrarian Fibonacci. Save. There you go. Okay. Now you don't see the market, right? The future. Você não vê o futuro. You don't see the future. Okay. That's the market, right? So counter trend line break, everybody, on the retracement if you want. Okay. Which one is the C, everybody? So would this be an entry on the contrarian Fibonacci? Seria uma entrada no Fibonacci di contra? This is the sub C. Okay. And the market is going down, down, sideways, down, bam. This is where you put profit take. Makes sense, everybody? The market hit the sub D. Agreed, everybody? Red went to red. Red sub C retracement, go to red sub D extension. You are applying the same rules. O sub C vermelho tem que ir para o sub D vermelho. Alright? Boss, I don't understand. You would talking about trading retracements, falando de negociar Fibonacci di contra. You should profit take in here. Make sense, everybody? You should profit take in here. Whoops. Give me a second, give me a second, give me a second. Alright. Sub D. Okay. If you would enter the counter trend line break, you know, yeah, we're not talking about risk reward ratio, but this would be the signal, you know, stop loss would go below, above the sub A, and you should profit take at the red. O stop loss vai em cima do sub A e você tem que pegar o lucro no vermelho. Okay, so, but let's forget about trading. Maybe the first day, you know, it's too difficult for all of us, right? Let's talk about charting first, okay, everybody? Vamos falar fazer os gráficos. And delete this one, delete this one. Whoops, again, you know, I'm deleting the sub B, okay. So you have the first Fibonacci, everybody, the sub A, sub B, sub C, sub D, okay? And as always, if you want, you can work with vertical lines, you know. Sub A goes to sub C, o sub E vai pro, give me a second, sub A goes to sub C, and the sub B, right, goes to sub D, must be a low, so this is now the sub D down in here. Agreed, everybody? So sub B goes to sub D and I have a new contrarian Fibonacci. Tem un nou Fibonacci di contra. Alright? And sub B is here. I need to change with sub D. Sub B is here. That's the sub D. Alright, down to here and... Alright, this is the sub C, right everybody? Sub A, sub B, sub C. Talking about the contrarian Fibonacci, sub A, sub B, sub C. And talking about this one, right? Red color maybe. Okay. Question. Back in time, everybody, was the C confirmed, yes or no? O ponto C estava confirmado ou não? This was the market back in time. Esse foi o mercado antigamente. You know, you're looking at the original Fibonacci and you're looking at the contrarian Fibonacci. Sto olhando para o Fibonacci original e sto olhando para o Fibonacci di contra. Sub A. Give me a second. Text. That's the B, aqui é o ponto B. Ok. Back in time, was this capital C confirmed? O ponto C estava confirmado, sim ou não? Boss, this is too difficult. My head is blowing. We are going to spend 3 weeks on the contrarian. This is just the first lesson today. By the way, we need to go, everybody. I need to go. So last question for today. Was this C back in time confirmed, yes or no? Meaning, was the sub D below the capital A of the original Fibonacci, yes or no? If the sub D is below the A, this would make this C a confirmed C. If the sub B is above the capital A, this would make this C not a confirmed C. O ponto C está confirmado, sim ou não? Is the C confirmed, yes or not? Exactly, Todd on Teams. The confirmed C is going to be visible in reference to the sub D. O ponto C confirmado vai ser visível em referência ao ponto sub D. Everybody need to go. Hedge fund trader Olga, hedge fund trader Alex, hedge fund trader Romildo, hedge fund trader Enrique. Do we have a confirmed sub C? Yes or no? Yes, you can ask for private classes, everybody, if you want, or if you need to. Not really a problem. Okay, everybody, I need to go, right? I'm sorry. No, the C was not, everybody, this is not a confirmed C because the sub D, it's above the capital A. Alright? Before we finish for today, did the market hit the extension of the original one? Yes, it did. Meaning you don't need necessarily to have a confirmed C to win. Ok? Você não precisa necessariamente ter o ponto C confirmado para ganhar. The market retraced to the 50% and still went up. O mercado se retraiu até 50% e foi para cima. Okay? It seems that sub D is not lower than the A than simple. Okay, everybody, I'm sorry, I need to go. See you back tomorrow. Disculpa, tenho que ir. Alright? I'm sorry I was late. Tomorrow, back to class normally, everybody. Until tomorrow, study the contrarian Fibonacci.